of fault-finding motherfucking individuals. See, these individuals right here, they're going to pick every scripture out the book to basically blame on you as to why you the cause of the situation. And of course, these individuals right here, they are basically fighting something inside of them. So, like, whatever they're fighting inside of them, they're trying to basically bring that fight with you, aka whoever you associate yourself with. You pick up their vibes, their energies, and it never fails. So, with this being said, these individuals, they're gonna put their baggage on top of you, which means you're gonna be carrying their weight and their leverage. And the moment you pick and choose to stay around with these individuals for long amounts of periods, you start to basically withhold that burden. And it won't be until you realize that, oh, by the way, this individual is really on some shit. This individual is really tripping. This individual is really kind of like putting themselves into a frame that they're trying to like use you for, and you're gonna basically feel that shit. That's the thing too. You're gonna really like feel that shit. And the thing is, it plays out to all mechanisms. And of course, there's a percentage factual perspective in this situation right here. See, these individuals, they don't really got no care. As long as they can use you for something and get you to basically actually follow and participate in their agenda, this is how they basically drain you. Feel me? Because they're going to always point the finger at you. They're going to always make it seem like you're the problem and stuff like that. And these are just insecurities that they basically use. They just basically using you as a punching bag. And the moment you still become a punching bag to these individuals, the more they can basically use more brass knuckles and different brass knuckles to basically aim a different idea or different percentage point of view or reference that they're basically going to throw that baggage on you. So you have to be very careful of these individuals. We call these narcissists. And the narcissist is a motherfucker that's very intelligent. Don't get me wrong. These individuals some of them are intelligent. Some of them know what they're doing. Of course, some of them are just basically born in that spirit, that space. So they're going to basically do whatever it takes to withhold all these scenarios that they can basically throw on you or put you in that box and make you suffer. Because for me, they're already suffering inside of them. So they're going to take it upon themselves to make you suffer with them. You ever heard the term, if you go down, this person go down? Like, for instance, if this narcissist was supposed to be a snitch, but the person he relating to or in a relationship with or have a connection with, he don't want to go alone. So he's going to basically bring the individuals that's involved with him. Even if the individuals ain't had no part, this individual still going to basically come up with certain names. Still going to be willing to snitch. Just like that movie Paid in Full. And where the dude said, I got a few names that I'm... Even though he ain't say his homies' names, even though he still did some snake shit behind the scenes, he still took it upon himself to basically rat some dudes out or basically say certain names because he knew he was guilty. He knew he was in the wrong. So he got caught up into a situation, which means that he got exposed. And of course, this plays out on all levels and all magnitudes. That's why you got to be careful with these groups and gangs that you basically associate yourself with or basically interconnect with. Feel me? You got to be aware of these things. Because the moment you put yourself out there to basically be vulnerable and naked to all these experiences, this is what you're gravitating towards you. And of course, if you're gravitating the wrong shit in your life, then of course you're going to be walking on dog shit for the rest of your life. You're going to be buying new sneakers. And of course, no matter what new sneaker you wear or put on your feet, when you come home, you're going to be smelling some shit. You're going to be bringing some shit from the outside inside your house. And when you bring in bacteria in your house, this bacteria gets to live within your house. It gets to spread like a disease or a virus, which however you want to basically plan it or say it. And bacteria take all shapes, all forms, all spirits, all textures, all shapes, all forms, all smells, no matter how it is. If it smells good or smell bad, it's still going to take that shape. It's still going to take that form. It's still going to play out the characteristics on how it's going to basically present itself. And of course, if you're presenting yourself to an individual that's basically playing on your emotional state, then of course they only adding weight there. And these things supposed to be light. And the moment these things get too heavy, it starts to basically become turmoil. And when you become turmoil, things get very nasty. It's like basically trying to add water to oil. And shit get very nasty and sticky and dirty. And you don't want to basically put yourself into that situation. Feel me? So it's highly important to take yourself out of that situation. The moment you sit down into that perimeter for that long, things get a little out of place, out of proportion. Because remember, it's always about movement. And if you're not moving, if you're stuck into a routine, you're stuck into a stage or a pattern, then of course this puts you into a situation of getting fucked up or getting fucked over. And when you get fucked over, then that means you're always going to bite the covers. It's never going to be a situation where you can allow the world to bite the covers for you. You'll always be biting the covers and, of course, be in resistant mode. And that's why it's highly important to be very careful and be very aware of where you're giving your mind to, or where you're giving your mentality to, or where you're giving your attention to. Because whatever you're paying attention to is always going to grow. And, of course, what you're paying attention to always going to take shapes. It's always going to take forms. And depending on how much time and how much energy you was given towards that attention, this is how the attention grows, energy flows. And we're doing this every day. But 10 times out of 10, what are you really directing your energy and your attention towards? Shit that's going to cater towards you, or shit that's going to uncater and not go in your favor. So you got to be very aware and have a higher magnitude, a higher mechanism on how you want to basically pinpoint the direction in the situation, for me. Because, of course, if the moment you get yourself into that issue or that circumference, things are going to get very heavy. Things are going to become a burden. And, of course, when something become a burden, someone basically start to put the fault-finding scenarios on you, this is where you really have to start getting into questioning things. And the moment you don't question something, the moment you put yourself into a situation of being questioned by your spirit, because your spirit always going to remind you, your spirit always going to tell you, your spirit always going to tell you basically look beyond the veil of things. And of course, if you're not looking beyond the veil, then you put yourself into a situation of getting lost into the veil. And what happens is things don't work out and things don't cater to your way of going about things. So you fuck yourself up. You fuck your mechanisms up. You fuck your generation up, which means all the insecurities and all the baggage that person has put on you, you're carrying their demons. You're carrying their world within inside you. And of course, being that they didn't take care of the insecurities before they got into a relationship to relate with you, they threw that shit on you. That baggage is on you. Now you smell dirty. Now you look dirty. Now you look crazy. Now you look all over the motherfucking place. And what happens is things won't get reciprocated or rectified if you don't spend time towards getting yourself out of that proportion, out of that mechanism. And remember, time is energy. Time becomes all magnitudes of wherever you basically get directing something. So whatever you're spending your time with or who, this tells you a lot about yourself. This tells you about the energy that you want to basically cater towards. Almost to the point that you could be in a relationship with somebody. The moment they put hands on you and beat your ass, this is where it comes down to, it don't matter what the story is or what the situation is. You must love getting your ass beat, because clearly that nigga's still beating your ass and you still basically getting around and stay with the nigga. I don't give a fuck how in love you motherfuckers are. The moment you sit around and think that the motherfucker is not going to stop doing what he's going to stop doing, the moment you become the fool. So you can't be expressing that or telling people how you feel about things. It's one way to basically protect yourself and get a protection. But the moment you basically sit around and keep waiting around, these are the experiences that the universe and God are going to be like, okay, cool. So you must love getting your ass beat. So we're going to basically keep putting these experiences here. Why? Because you keep giving attention to the situation. You keep basically associating yourself with that situation. So whatever you associate yourself with, universe only go by vibes. So if you're feeling down, feeling oppressed or depressed about the situation, motherfucker, you're going to be basically experiencing more depressing, chaotic ass situations where of this individual beating your ass and giving you black fucking eyes. And remember, black eyed peas exist. And remember, motherfucker, that motherfucker is going to keep eating your energy up, beating your ass, making your eyes black. Just like that movie, Straight Outta Brooklyn. When the nigga kept beating his mom's ass, she went to the interview, black eyes, all fucked up, all looking crazy. They said they couldn't even interview her ass because her eyes looked real crazy. And that was even worse because they was already struggling. Nigga was coming home, drunk, beating ass. Mind you, while the child went out to basically make the sacrifices to bring bread home. But of course, they still got made. But it took the child to make the sacrifice to basically bring home the big bread, while the father that was beating ass was the one that basically put him into that situation just because of them struggling. So yeah, it goes real deep. So whoever you basically personally invest in your time with, you gotta really think highly important. You gotta really think, is this situation of me associating myself with this motherfucker going to basically help us grow or help us basically build? And of course, if you're not building, shit is toxic, shit is very poisonous. So that means the relationship is going to be toxic. The relationship is going to be very vampirous. And of course, some people stick around, some people basically move on. So 10 times out of 10, if you feel like shit, and if you feel that you got to put yourself into a situation of questioning a motherfucker loyalty, then you already basically know what it's hitting for now. Get your ass out that person. Get your ass out that place. Get your ass out that thing. Because remember, not only is you associating yourself with this individual, but you're basically bringing in all those experiences. And of course, those experiences is basically washing you up all the current. And when you wash up your ass up under that current, these experiences basically get to play out into your life. And what happens when these experiences that you associate yourself with someone playing out in their life means you have basically been highly possessed. Now remember, what you're basically doing right now is affecting your surroundings. So if it's affecting your surroundings, then it's fucking you up mentally, physically, emotionally. And of course, once you put your spirit in that Dalmatian, goddamn, feel real bad about yourself, because nobody gonna basically get you out that hell but yourself. And remember, it takes time, it takes work, it takes ethics for you to basically push forward and move forward out of that situation. So remember, it's always about you, and it's always about how you're basically containing these situations, or having the container to basically trap this shit. Remember, this individual is basically blaming you for their insecurities. You. And they the ones that's not looking in the mirror. They the ones that's not basically seeing the wrongs or the rights that they basically should take responsibilities for. And if they ain't got that to point towards you, guess what? They're going to point it towards you. And this is how they basically trap you and put you into a lower hemisphere, while they basically get to rise up above the occasion a little bit, get a little bit of praise. But deep down inside, these motherfuckers is spoiled, and of course they're damaged. So which means that if you're around a damaged, spoiled person, place, or thing, it's only going to lead to worse scenarios, because other beings, other shapes, other forms love misery. And of course, misery loves company. So if you're around a miserable ass person or a miserable ass individual, you're only going to be misered out by their mentality, misered out by how the way they feel, misered out by their energies. And of course, that shit is very strong, highly strong. And remember, you got to basically be very careful out here and be protected. Because remember, you never know when your spirit going to pull the tethering cord on your ass, just because you're carrying a whole lot of baggage. And remember, when you die, the shit that was on your mind, how you feel about things, these are the experiences that you're basically going to continue to experience in the next life, the next space, or the next gas that you basically get into references towards. To remember, it's highly important to know who the fuck you are before you basically throw in the covers, throw in the shades, or put in the towel. Because remember, you can sweat, you can go hard, and of course, that's cool and everything. But remember, detaching from things that no longer serve your purpose is highly important for your soul, highly important for how you feel. And of course, it's all about how you feel. If you ain't feeling right, 10 times out of 10, you ain't doing right. And of course, if you ain't doing right, you got to look in the mirror now. And remember, all the insecurities and all the baggage and all the weight on your shoulders. And remember, when these things get on your shoulders, you're already carrying a whole lot on your shoulders. So it's starting to basically start shedding shit that don't basically no longer should be on your shoulders. And of course, teamwork make the dream work. So you're always going to have help. But remember, never neglect the help that comes your way, because you never know how the help can come. Help can come through a person, place, or thing. And always remember that you got to put yourself first before you basically try to put yourself out in the world. Because if you ain't put yourself first, then you're going to basically carry out all the insecurities. you might have to lash out at a motherfucker and throw your insecurities on them.